I have the great honor tonight of introducing someone I met at this conference, and that's the way it works. We meet like-minded people here and go on to forge relationships. Stacy Garrity, Pennsylvania State Treasurer, is a retired, I like that, is a retired U.S. Army Reserve Colonel, businesswoman, and our Commonwealth's 78th Treasurer. Stacy Garrity has lived a life of service to her nation, her Commonwealth, and her community in uniform. Stacy rose to the rank of Colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve, serving not one, but 3 deployments in defense of our nation. Operation Desert Storm to Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. At home, Stacy Garrity emerged as a groundbreaking Pennsylvania business leader, rising from accountant at Global Tungsten and AMP and to Powers Corporation to becoming the first one of two female vice presidents at the company. Now, as our Commonwealth's treasurer, Stacy Garrity has focused on cutting waste, eliminating taxpayer abuse, and bringing transparency to Pennsylvania's government, and she's done an amazing job. Stacy works every day to protect more than $180 billion in state assets, serving as a fiscal watchdog for programs like Pennsylvania's 529 College and Career Savings Program, where account holders have been saving or have saved $22 million on her watch. For her leadership in spearheading PA-ABLE savings program for individuals with disability, Stacy was elected as the inaugural chair for the National ABLE Savings Plans Network by fellow state treasurers. Stacy's work as our treasurer has directly impacted millions of Pennsylvania families, with more than $1 billion in unclaimed property returned to its rightful owners and nearly $10 million returned to Pennsylvania taxpayers through the Treasury's Money Match program. Each year, the Treasury saves Pennsylvania taxpayers nearly $50 million by identifying overpayments and duplicate payments to the Commonwealth. Now Stacy Garrity is running for governor. She wants to continue her service to Pennsylvania as our Commonwealth's 49th governor. A native of Bradford County, Stacy's a graduate of Sayre High School and Bloomsburg University, and later she received a certificate from Cornell University's Business Management Institute. She serves on the board of the Bradford County United Way and is a trustee of the Guthrie Robert Packer Hospital in Sayre. But above all, Stacy is most proud to be the wife of her husband, Daniel, and faithful member of the Christian Life Church. Please give a warm welcome to Stacy Garrity.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. You can all hear me, right? Yeah. Thanks, RJ. You're the best. It is so good to be back at the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. And you know, pay attention. I'm going to tell you a story. So President Reagan used to tell a story about a little boy outside a Democrats' fundraiser selling puppies. Okay? Now, the boy kept shouting. What did he shout? Come buy a Democrat puppy. Come buy a Democrat puppy. So a few weeks later, there was a Republican event, and guess what? It was at the exact same hall. Same little boy, same puppies, but you know what? This time he was shouting, come buy a Republican puppy. So somebody said, wait a second, kid. Weren't those Democrat puppies a few weeks ago? So that little boy said, Well, they were. But now, their eyes are open. Thanks. So folks, all across Pennsylvania, voters' eyes are opening as well. And they are. So I want you to think about this. 250 years ago last summer, a little bit more than 100 miles away from where you're all sitting or standing, our founding fathers did something the world had never seen. Lawyers and farmers, merchants and doctors from all four corners of the New World, united, they stood up to a mighty empire, and you know what, the largest the world had ever seen, and they said, enough. Our Commonwealth is the birthplace of freedom and liberty. It's the place where America's enduring dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness began. And 2 years ago, I was standing right here at this podium, and I was speaking to all of you guys, and you know what? We were in rough shape. Do you remember that? So I talked about how we had a president in the White House. His name was Joe Biden. Didn't know where he was, let alone how to do his job. And I also talked about how we had a United States Senator, Bob Casey, who had less public appearances than Punxsutawney Phil. That's true. But you guys, thanks to the hard work of all of you, everybody in this room, we sent President Trump back to the White House and Bob Casey into retirement. But you know what? There was one other problem facing this Commonwealth in 2024 that we are still faced with today. And that problem's name is Josh Shapiro. That's right. So the American dream is fleeting in the Commonwealth where it was first born, and that is such a shame. Because we have a governor who is more interested in Pennsylvania Avenue than helping Pennsylvania families. And that is why last August I declared my candidacy to be your next governor. And thank you. And over the past, 7, 8 months, I've spoken to so many of you, and so many of you in this room, about our problems that we have facing our communities and how we can turn Pennsylvania around, and we can. And let's be honest, we have a lot of problems, don't we? But as we've traveled across the Commonwealth, it's become clear that our positive message about what we can be is resonating. Pennsylvanians, they recognize our potential, but you know what? They also know that we are not achieving it under the failed policies of Josh Shapiro. And guess what? He knows this too. And he wasn't very happy when I called his administration mediocre, because in case you didn't know this, he's a little bit thin-skinned, okay? But folks, what else do you call a state that ranks 38th economically? Mediocre, right? What else do you call a state that ranks 41st overall? That's right. What else do you call a state that has 3,000 deficient bridges? What else do you call a state where 2/3 of your 8th graders can't read at grade level? Yeah, that's right. And this is my personal favorite because I am the state treasurer. What else do you call a state where you spend $5 billion more than what you bring in? Mediocre. Okay. So on second thought, I think maybe I was being a little too kind because Josh Shapiro has failed us. But somehow he believes he deserves a promotion. So he's traveled to Aspen, he's traveled to Nantucket to pick up $1 million checks from liberal billionaires. I mean, gosh, one of whom was mentioned over 2,600 times in the Epstein files, okay? So he has spent so much time on the late, night talk shows that he's more comfortable talking to media personalities than talking to voters that he represents. And you know what? That's the problem. He is more focused on his personal political ambition than fixing the problems that Pennsylvanians are facing today. And you know what? That lack of focus on us shows. But guess what, guys? Things change day one on a Garrity Ritchie administration. So Jason is here. Stand up, Jason. Isn't Jason Ritchie going to make a fantastic lieutenant governor? He is. So we will no longer tolerate failing up in our schools, and we're not going to let our kids fail behind in the classroom. We will bring accountability and opportunity to the classroom. And by the end of our administration, Pennsylvania will be a leader in the nation for education. My administration will help the people of Pennsylvania achieve their dreams, not serve as a stepping stone for a governor chasing his own. And while Pennsylvania parents want schools focused on what? Academics and opportunity, Josh Shapiro won't say something that every parent already knows. And you know what that is? Boys don't belong in girls' sports. Pennsylvania's daughters should not have to train for years, sacrificing and fighting for every inch of success, only to be told when they reach the finish line, the rules no longer matter. That is not fairness. It's certainly not common sense. But you know what? Shapiro has chosen to appease the activist left instead of standing with Pennsylvania families and protecting the integrity of girls' sports. So you have my word as your next governor. I won't let Harrisburg bureaucrats or national political consultants redefine reality for Pennsylvania's children. We will protect girls' sports. We will protect girls' spaces. And we will stand with all Pennsylvania parents. That's right. Pennsylvania parents who are tired of being ignored by politicians. You know what? Politicians that are more worried about their next political office than about what's right. Okay? And that is the biggest difference that you're going to find in the priority between myself and Josh Shapiro. He is more focused on pleasing people who might help him in 2028. Okay? I'm focused on protecting our kids that need us right now. Because protecting their future doesn't stop. It doesn't stop at the classroom or the playing field. It means building a commonwealth where they can afford to stay, raise a family, and build a life right here in Pennsylvania. And we will tap the energy resources right under our feet that is going to fuel the nation. It's going to lower utility bills for Pennsylvanian families and secure America's energy future. We will provide relief from property taxes for hardworking Pennsylvanians. And I know you like that one, and we are. And you know what? We will make Pennsylvania the hub of global commerce that we should be, so that those students, they stay in Pennsylvania, they build a home in Pennsylvania, and they start a business in Pennsylvania. So this is my promise to all of you. When I step foot out of Pennsylvania It will never be to promote my own political ambitions. It will be to promote our communities. And you know what? That goes for the federal government as well. When Democrats in Washington refuse to act, we will utilize every tool at our disposal to get stuff done for the people of Pennsylvania. My focus is fighting for Pennsylvania families, and all Shapiro is focused on is fighting with President Trump. He has sued him dozens of times, and guess what? He's using your tax dollars to do it. And when Congress refuses to pass common sense legislation like the SAVE Act, you know what we're going to do? We will finally pass voter ID here in Pennsylvania. To keep our elections secure. The 21st century will be the American century. And you know what? Pennsylvania will absolutely lead the way. But the road to success starts by defeating Josh Shapiro in November. So listen, we've come such a long way since we announced our candidacy for governor. We've received endorsements from leaders across the Commonwealth, across the country. President Donald J. Trump. The row officers, Attorney General Dave Sunday, Auditor General Tim DeFore, South Central Pennsylvania's own Congressman Scott Perry. Senator Chris Stush, my grassroots guy. Chris, where are you? Oh, there he is. Okay. And so many of our wonderful legislators that are all here. Legislators, KPH, you guys, Martina, Jim Struzzi, stand up. All of you stand up. And all of you grassroots out there that have stepped up to support us, helped us organize events, raise money, and build a campaign ready to win, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. We were one of the very first gubernatorial campaigns to earn President Trump's endorsement. Yes, first in the nation. And last month, we filed our petitions to get on the ballot. Now, you all know out there, the process of getting on the ballot, it can be a bit of a chore, right? But we didn't just do the bare minimum. We activated our campaign supporters as a test for November. And so we didn't file just 2,000 signatures. We filed over 30,000. From every county. And that's a statement of what we can do with the support of thousands of energized grassroots patriots that are behind us. And speaking of grassroots, my home county chair, Dick Harris, is here. Dick, where are you? There he is. So this campaign to expose and prosecute Josh Shapiro's failures, and we're going to paint a very positive vision for Pennsylvania's future. And you know what? That starts right now, folks. Over the next 6-7 months, we're going to go toe-to-toe with Shapiro, right? And if he, no, I wasn't doing 6-7. Stop. I was not doing 6-7. Okay. But seriously, if he thinks he can scare me off, he's sadly mistaken, because if terrorists in the deserts can't intimidate me, Josh Shapiro never, ever will. This is his 10th political campaign. Oh, or maybe 11th if you count student body president in college. Okay, so 10 or 11, not 6, 7. And the difference between us could not be more clear. So while he was plotting his first campaign from office, sitting in his air-conditioned living room, I was commanding the largest internment facility in Iraq in 140-degree heat with no air conditioning. And when he was hopping from political office to political office, I was becoming just one of 2 female vice presidents at a global manufacturing company, helping to bring real jobs to my community. A community that career politicians like Josh Shapiro have overlooked for years, just like many of yours. So sometimes it feels like he's been running for the next office from day one that he won the first office, right? But guess what? Think about this. When you've never been challenged, when you've never had an ad run against you for at least a decade, you know what? It's easy to start believing that it's all about you. And you lose sight of the voters that you're supposed to serve. So you all know, guys, I'm fairly new to politics, right? But I'm not new to public service, and certainly not to accountability or the demand for transparency. The Army teaches you to stand firm because you know what your mission is? It's to defend the people that you're there to protect. Josh Shapiro is so confident that he thinks he can just breeze past Pennsylvania voters in 2026 on his way to 2028. Well, you know what? Not on my watch and not on your watch. We will hold him accountable for his failed leadership that's left our Commonwealth in the bottom tier of states in almost every single metric. Think about that. We're going to expose the corruption and the scandals he's tried to cover up, and believe me, there are a lot. And we will kick him out of Harrisburg, away from the White House, and into irrelevance. And that is because I do not accept Josh Shapiro's mediocrity. I know that you don't, and I know that the 13 million Pennsylvanians know that we can be so much more. But I also realize that defeating Josh Shapiro, it's not going to be easy. You know that too. He's got the national Democrats behind him. He's absolutely got the media. But here's the deal, folks. Failure is not an option. Defeating Shapiro and turning our Commonwealth around, it's going to be an all-hands-on-deck mission. And you know what? Just like it was 250 years ago, there is something else that is absolutely essential to our success. And you all know what that is. Unity. Unity is not just standing together. Unity is growing together. Unity is about making our party bigger, stronger, and more welcoming to every Pennsylvanian who believes in hard work, common sense, and the future of this Commonwealth. Folks, our movement is strongest when people feel like there's a place for them. Because this campaign and this party should always be about bringing people together around our shared values of faith, family, freedom, opportunity, and a government that works for the people and not special interests. Every new person that we bring in this movement makes us stronger. Every volunteer, every voter, every family that decides to get involved and add to the momentum that we're creating in all 67 counties. So my message tonight is simple. It's very simple. Every person in this room has the ability to help grow this movement. So I want you to think about the people that you have in your life, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, the parents you sit next to, right, at sports events, the people you see at church, the people you see at the diner, at the grocery store. If you know someone who shares our values, who wants a stronger Pennsylvania, or who is looking for a reason to believe in the future of this Commonwealth again, bring them into the fold, invite them to the next event, ask them to volunteer, encourage them to get involved, and help them feel like they belong to this movement, because you know what? They do. And that's how we build something bigger than a campaign. That's how we build a winning coalition. And that's how we win in November. So I would like our veterans, I see I have Frank Ryan out there, my friend, and first responders to stand up, if you can. Stand up. Josh. Thank you for your service. Thank you guys for your service. So you can tell how much everybody appreciates you. So I learned firsthand in the military that when you're in a foxhole, your battle buddy doesn't ask you what your political affiliation is, do they? But my veteran friends. They want to know that you have their back. So here's my message to every single person in this room and all Pennsylvanians in the 67 counties across our Commonwealth. No matter your race, your religion, or your way of life, no matter whether or not you have supported my campaign from the beginning or I still need to earn your vote, it's okay, I have your back. Our founders, they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to each other. And I'm asking all of you for your voice and your vote to turn around our Commonwealth that we all love. Pennsylvania deserves a governor with a plan worthy of the place that gave birth to this nation. Pennsylvania has led before. We are the state that sparked the revolution. We are the state that powered the Industrial Revolution. We are the state that built the American working class. There is no reason, none, that we can't lead again. But you know what? Leadership matters, accountability matters, and putting Pennsylvania families first matters. This is our moment. This is our turning point, and together, and I mean that, together, every single person in this room, we will restore opportunity, affordability, and promise to the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. God bless all of you. God bless Pennsylvania, and God bless the United States. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.